This week we're talking bad tourists with the Impats and special guest Steve JOSLIN.
In China, this has been happening lately. The government has been cracking down on churches across the country. Now, they're taking all of the Bibles and the crosses into the front yards and they're setting them on fire. Yeah. It sounds like the work of the Ku Klux Klan. If you didn't get that joke, have someone explain racism to you.
Bad tourists, the places they go, the things they shouldn't do, and the horrible injuries they inflict and receive. This and more coming up on Impats. All right, welcome to Impats. Let's go around the table and see who we have this week. Starting with Nuha from the Maldives.
Yeah, still Nuha, still Maldivian, still an immigrant because I'm brown. Oh yes, that's me.
Hi everyone, Mike's still here, still not really sure about my voice. Quick shout out to the robot who gave us the music he listens to when he does orgasms. That was the perfect intro. Thanks for that, that was
Nice
great.
One. Nice one.
This is Aaron from the U.S., all currently based in Malaysia, and we have a special guest this week, Steve JOSLIN.
Howdy, folks. Hi, Mom. I'm STEVO, JOSLIN. I'm from the United States, currently based in Bangkok. And yeah, I love hearing the term robots do orgasms. That felt beautiful.
Speaking of orgasms, let's talk about a man who was killed. Yeah.
That's how I get there, yeah.
That was a strong segue, okay?
Really?
Guys, that was a strong segue.
Classic.
Those Segway classes are really paying off.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Only need to make 15 more payments and get the rest of the class. Okay.
All right.
But seriously though, our first topic is, this is fascinating, a missionary who went to an island of people who have completely refused contact with the outside world. So he bribed some fishermen to take him there.
This is the Sentinel
Yes, the
Islands?
Sentinelese.
yeah.
So he went to the Sentinelese, and for some reason, they killed him with the arrows. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really for some reason, because that's like their thing.
That is true.
Is
They
just-
shoot arrows at helicopters that fly over their island. And
That's like the thing they're known for.
Yeah.
This is true.
The arrows.
No one's
But they-
gone to ask what the reason was
For why he went.
for why they shot him.
You just got to
Oh.
stay on brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have been like shooting arrows at anybody who tries to come onto their island for years. And there are a lot of scientists now who are very upset because what they did was they shot him and they took him inside the island. And then I don't know what they did to him because I was not there because I know better. And then they threw him onto the beach, and the fishermen who dropped him off saw his body there and all. So now the biologists are very angry about this because they're like, who knows what kind of diseases this man has spread to the Sentinelese. They don't have any vaccination.
Where was he from?
He was American.
Yeah.
Friend of yours, Steve?
Yeah, we might have met.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to a lot of Bible camps.
Okay. So the Sentinelese Islands they, I guess, technically belong to India.
Right.
And the Indians say that they don't really know if he was a missionary. They feel like it's just some young man, like he was I think 27, 28, who wanted to do something that nobody else had done by making contact with the Sentinelese. And yeah, so he was telling people that he wanted to introduce them to Jesus Christ. Jesus was not with him at the time. That might have been perhaps the issue. You know, if you're going to promise somebody something, you need to follow through.
Yeah, there's been a lot of memes I've seen going around when it was like, I want to introduce you to Jesus Christ. And then it's like the guy on the beach, he's like, you first.
Yeah.
So I thought it was an established fact that the guy was a missionary.
I've been reading the news. There's these two things. Like he was super into Christianity, so he might have wanted to.
Super easy.
It's a phase.
Yeah. It's like Pokemon. Yeah. Go grow out.
We all
Yeah.
go through this thing, you know.
Yeah.
Like so, he was So
Jesus, then we do Pokemon in Japanese schoolgirls, I think. He missed the Japanese school.
He hadn't gone there
that's
yet.
really sad.
Too bad, too
Yeah.
bad.
Because that's the most fun phase.
Yeah. The arrows stopped him. Otherwise, he would have been there.
Yeah.
That is not the worst general policy, is if you don't like things or people, just shoot arrows at them.
Yeah.
I could see
We
that.
do.
Y'all do that in the Maldives?
We prefer for you guys to come over, and then we'll act really friendly, and then we will take every dollar you've got.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we are subtle like that. Yeah.
Just
Anymore.
typical of the Maldives to copy the Philippine way. It's
Oh my
no
God.
originality.
Okay, you're like Chekhov in Star Trek. Like you will take anything from any culture and claim it's Filipino.
That?
Wait,
Chekhov
Chekhov
was
was Filipino?
famous for that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Islander, that's Filipino.
I didn't watch the Star Trek.
Oh, that's not Chekhov. That's who was I doing? I was doing Scotty.
Scotty?
Yeah.
Scotch Filipino?
Chekhov was Russian.
Chekhov was Russian.
That was my Russian impression.
Got it.
As a Scottish
Got it,
guy.
got it. Steve-O, how long have you been in Asia?
I've been in Asia for 7 years.
Okay.
How long have you been in Russia?
I went to this beautiful Russian city, Glasgow.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Do you ever run into missionaries in Thailand?
I run into a lot of Mormons.
Mormons?
Yeah, I see Mormons running around. Mostly when I was in Cambodia,
Okay.
they were mobbing deep. I think we could see 2 temples from our apartment, and those guys, they're easy to identify because they're like 19-year-old kids with their white shirts and the name tag. And I would always follow them around. I would like, you get them, you get that planet. And I also wanted to buy a
Are
helmet.
these the people who like knock on your door and want to talk to you about, old JC?
Oh yeah, they get after. My wife and I out talked them once.
Wow.
Like 4 of them came to the door, knocked, and said, "Hey, have you heard the good news?" And I was like, "Well, have you?" and they left.
Always fun to out Jesus Mormons.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know the devil knows the scripture as well. Yeah.
Did
My
that
room-
happen in Asia?
That happened in the States, but I would follow them around in Cambodia because they speak the local languages so well. Like if you go to
Wow.
BYU, you will come out speaking Japanese, whatever. They'll teach you
That's
a
amazing.
language, Ricky Tick,
Wow.
and then
Is that a language too?
yeah, Ricky Tick, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's
Made famous by the Ricky Tikki Taffy. My roommate in college, one time we walked out of our place and these 2 guys came up to us with the white shirts and the pants and everything like that. And it's like, have you guys heard the good news? This thing. And my roommate just looks at them. He's just like, wait, you guys just work at Olive Garden. And they totally did. They just fucking started laughing.
That is the good news.
It's a great prank.
That's the good news. There's a 2-for-1 special.
yeah.
Why wouldn't you
Soup
want
and salad and
that?
breadsticks is back.
You could eat breadsticks. It's like heaven. So
Yeah.
We have the same thing in Manila. We
Oh,
have a
God.
lot of Mormons, and they like this one particular neighborhood. And the reason they're there and they keep coming in droves is because all the housewives fuck the Mormons. Because these are just cute white boys who just want to share the word, and the girls want the wood. So yeah, it's So here's a weird thing. When you go to Manila as a Mormon, you don't learn the language because you don't have to. Everybody basically speaks English, but they all leave with the same STDs.
I see.
Oh.
yeah,
Okay.
that's one way to you're making Mormons. Yeah.
So, STDs. Steve-O, you've traveled all over Asia.
Yeah, we'd love to hear some
These hard
stories.
segues are
Would,
great.
would you
Thank
call
you.
yourself a good tourist?
I like to think so.
Yeah?
I don't usually get into the seedier parts of the environment.
Okay.
It's okay, Steve. Well, your wife is in here. We can just...
Yeah, that's true. She
Open up.
Yeah.
Open up. Yeah, she doesn't
We're
listen to any
all
of my work.
friends here.
Usually when we go travel, I make myself do comedy wherever we are. I try to make that happen. And I love meeting comedians all around the world because they know where to usually get marijuana. And that has been awesome. Yeah.
What is this marijuana?
It is a magical plant, and if you give it to Mormon missionaries, it cures them.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have such things in Malaysia.
Yes,
it's,
I have not seen it, the government.
Correct. Smart man.
No
Steve-O.
idea.
Guys, tell us a story of something that you cannot get out of your head that happened to you in Asia.
So I was in Myanmar, this was 4 years ago, and I did a comedy show there, and I bombed so hard, it was great. In this just barn of a place in front of like 100 people.
That feels so wrong, though. Saying
Yeah.
bombed in Myanmar. I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean, this was, I've been white this whole time, so we probably did that. So I bombed the show, and I'm out on the balcony talking to the promoter, and he's like, did you know that in Myanmar you get more time in jail for marijuana than you do for manslaughter?
Wow.
Yeah. And I just looked at him and I said, oh shit. I should probably go kill someone.
Yeah, you know, that explains it. They be burning down them villages left, right, and center. Those are all people trying to get a lighter sentence.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
drug use,
yeah.
yeah.
If you're smoking joints in Myanmar, murder is definitely a step down.
So do you think it maybe like one village per joint, or?
I don't know. I know that was the case during the Vietnamese War, but I don't know how it reacts. The exchange rate. Yeah,
So
it
if
changes.
If you're smoking marijuana with a buddy in Myanmar, and if the cops come in, it would make sense to just put the smoke out in your buddy's eye, just
Yeah.
to get a lighter sentence.
Yeah, just start kicking them to death. And
Wow.
I don't know if that's how laws work. I think you can be charged with both items. They're not one or the other.
yeah,
You're not a lawyer. You don't know that.
Yeah,
It's true.
Yeah.
I'm not a,
it's a lower bribe at least.
yeah.
I'm really, really glad that this podcast is turning into such an educational show.
I'm learning a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
Learning a
We
lot
just-
about ourselves.
We are spreading the good word. Thank you.
Yeah.
And,
Still, just to be clear, no marijuana in Malaysia. I just
Oh,
want
no.
to make that
No,
No.
there is
never
not
heard of, yeah.
the government.
What is it again? Weed? Oh.
Oh, no. All
Who
these
knows?
slangs.
Hey, so because we have STEVO, an expat and a tourist, we thought we'd play a little game with him. Actually, I was thinking maybe you guys would participate as well.
Sure.
So I've got 6 sentences that describe tourists, and you guys have to guess whether the tourist is mainland Chinese tourist or an Australian on spring break.
Oh man,
Oh, wow.
Oh, geez.
Yes.
those are those
All right.
guys both have 5-star ratings on TripAdvisor.
Cream of the crop.
All right, you guys ready?
All right, yeah, let's go.
Tourist opens emergency exit to get some fresh air as plane is in takeoff.
Ooh.
Who wants to take this one?
Usually, like blatant disregard of safety rules on planes. That's been a pretty staple of the mainland Chinese lately.
Oh, correct. Aaron,
All right,
good
all right,
job.
excellent.
Aaron gets many points. No prize.
There's points?
I didn't think we're fighting for points.
Yeah, I would've-
All
You're
right.
not fighting
Wanna
for
butt in.
points. You're
All right.
competing for points.
All right. Okay.
Okay, number 2. Drunken tourist carjacks minibus.
Australian.
Oh my god. How did you know?
Mainly because the Chinese don't need alcohol to start shit. That's why.
What's
Yeah.
finish?
Yeah,
What is
let's
it?
hear the rest of it.
Carjacks minibus in Hong Kong for crosstown joyride.
It's not even that big. Like,
I'm gonna give Mike more points than I gave to Aaron because
That's fair.
that was impressive. Yep.
I work
All
in an Australian company, so I know.
work it.
Work
Work
it,
it.
work it,
Work it,
yeah.
work it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, number 3. Man ignores warnings and takes
Chinese.
photos. Okay, so you're correct as well.
So we're just looking for keywords.
Did I choose too obvious? What's going on here?
What is it?
What do you do? Yeah.
Man ignores warnings and takes photos of Komodo dragons in Indonesia, gets bitten.
Oh yeah.
I was thinking that if I said Indonesia, you guys would get like, well, you know the topic, but
I think that one's a Singaporean, actually.
what?
I'd have to check. But the guy who got bit by a Komodo dragon? Yeah, I think
The
that was
news
a...
stories is Chinese, so Singaporean Chinese.
okay,
maybe?
okay. Singaporean
Hey, they all came from mainland China.
Oh, hello.
That's,
I am so like,
Hello, uncle.
oh, okay, between the Tigris and the Euphrates at one point.
I'm
We're all from
going to be
Africa.
correct.
Eventually.
Actually, yes, that
Yeah.
is where life began.
And we will all end up in
Specifically
China.
for me, because I was conceived in Africa.
Mazel
So
tov.
life very much began in Africa for me. You guys want to keep going?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Let's just start shouting it
Try
out.
not to yell too loud. Peacocks in zoo die from shock after tourist plucks out their feathers.
Whoa. Ooh.
I'm gonna go Chinese.
Yeah, Chinese.
Why?
Because he probably plucked it out because of some weird herbal
If
thing
he had had
bought.
sex with it, I would say Australia.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then would peacock dies of pleasure.
You're assuming a lot about Australian growers there.
So
I've had my.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it is Chinese, and they didn't pluck it out for some kind of herbal remedy. It was just for like souvenirs.
Souvenirs?
Yeah, yeah.
Out
and-
of the live bird.
Yeah, they were at the Yunnan Zoo in Kunming, China. Chinese
Great zoo,
tourists
by the way, great.
in China just walked into a peacock reserve and started plucking them because they
It
wanted.
died?
It died from shock. It was like
Oof.
the and then I guess it could not believe.
They finished plucking it?
Yeah, how
Like
far did they get? Yeah, I want to hear.
It
Yeah.
just seems like it got easier.
Yeah.
It
Just you
wasn't
lose
even
one.
fully plucked. They just plucked out a few feathers. The peacock was like, I don't know what's happening, and it just couldn't handle it anymore. It just
How do
sounds a
you-
bit like the peacock was a bit sensitive.
How do
That's
you
what
die
I'm
from
hearing.
shock?
Yeah.
No.
How do you die from shock?
I don't know. Have you ever been plucked?
No, but I never also died from shock.
Yeah,
So-
that's because you've never been plucked.
I haven't been
Say.
plucked in a while.
You've been. You get that good pluck, and you wish you were dead.
We're all in this game to get plucked somehow.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're all getting
All right,
plucked.
where are we at here?
Okay, 2 more. Tourists wear nation's flag as underwear gets deported.
Australian.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was actually here.
Really?
Yeah. You know, there's the cars that go really fast.
Like F1?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they have like a track, right? In
Right,
Malaysia
right,
near
right.
the airport somewhere. So these tourists came down for that. It was a bunch of guys like on spring break. They weren't even that young. They were like, they had just graduated. They had started their jobs and stuff. So they just decided to wear Speedos that had the Malaysian flag on them. And the Malaysian authorities were like, we are not into that. So they got arrested. And then Australia was like, please give them back to us, I guess. And
The underwear or the...
I think the underwear was kept. I'm gonna make a strong statement that they kept the underwear in Malaysia and then
Okay.
deported the boys.
Had they worn Australian flag Speedos, would that have been an issue?
Well, I have not discussed this.
We gotta get these guys on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the hard yes. That would have been understandable.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think people could have accepted that. Like if you wear your nation's flag as your underwear, I feel like that's a strong statement of pride. You know, like I feel supported by my nation, like that.
I try to keep an Australian flag near my sweaty butt all the time. Yeah. To show my American pride.
Exceptionalism.
Fantastic.
at all
Exceptionalism,
times.
that's right.
At all times.
Would you be offended if somebody wore the American flag as underwear? Because I know Americans have a lot of patriotism.
There's so many like American flag bikinis. Like Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
but nobody's gonna have a problem with the bikini.
Right, right.
Yeah. If it's an American flag banana hammock, I would be less offended if they didn't burn it afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Less.
Less offended, yeah.
Okay.
That if you keep wearing that,
Okay.
I think is
if
weird.
you kneel in a American. Let's not. No, let's go to the last one.
I want to hear the end of that idea.
Does it cancel out?
Yeah.
What about you, Mike? What about the...
I wanted to ask, where did they buy the underwear?
Oh,
That's
I
a
don't...
good question.
Yeah, why do they sell it if it's not allowed?
There you go.
No,
Asking the hard questions.
Custom printed, maybe? I don't know.
Crossfire.
no idea. I think they brought it over with them.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh.
so I guess Malaysia should deport all of Australia. Just send them all back to where they came from.
I have a question.
England?
Were they offended because the star and the crescent were exactly on the underwear?
It had 2 stars, 1 crescent.
Were they like situated like where the banana would be? Is that the offense part or
I
just
feel
the
like-
general?
I feel like the offense part was that the boys weren't, like if you're gonna wear like a nation's flag as underwear, like have the junk to carry it off.
Ah.
Also, it'll look weird.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you need that. You need that curve there to make the flag really pop.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I
Yeah,
think
you need to
we've
be
managed
plucked
to.
if you're gonna.
Yeah.
wear a
Shout out
speedo.
to our sponsor, Grindr.com.
Yeah.
Grindr.com.
Okay.
We're doing plugs in the middle of the
There you
show.
go.
Nice one. Last one, and this one should be easy. Tourist arrested in Bali for carrying in powder, acting like it was drugs.
Carrying what again?
He carried in a powder to the country, and he was arrested for suspicion that it was drugs.
Oh, Australian.
Correct.
Wait,
Why?
was he telling them it was drugs? Like,
I have no idea. But
trying to act cool? This is totally drugs.
It's drugs, you guys. Not oregano.
Yeah, my girlfriend gave it to me. She goes to a different school. You wouldn't know her.
Well, I mean, he's 19, so like any 19-year-old is suspicious automatically.
Yeah. What was the powder?
Yeah, weird thing. I feel like it
Anthrax.
It's
Turns out.
drugs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
not
actually
drugs.
It turned out to be a mix of like Panadol and paracetamol and like just regular drugs. Like
Oh, so
regular.
he was Chinese Australian. That's why.
That's
Okay.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I
It's
heard
just-
Bali and fake powders, and I was like, oh, this is like
I
mixed
know.
signals.
It's weird. I don't understand it. For some reason, the journalist decided not to investigate further. Like why he crushed up regular pharmaceuticals into like a powder and then had it packed. Like, who was he trying to impress?
We asked a doctor recently if someone's going like into anaphylactic shock, having a bad allergic reaction, and you don't have a EpiPen, can you crush up Benadryl and snort it? Will it work faster? Like, apparently not.
Oh,
All right.
I
There
think you
goes
need
my
to say
friend.
that part
Yeah.
louder. Apparently not. It will not work. We do not endorse this.
What, snorting Benadryl?
Yes.
Or any-
We don't endorse snorting Benadryl.
Well, just
I don't know if
just
we want
Benadryl.
to take that stance.
I'm gonna take a hard stance on this. I say no. I say no to.
Don't do it.
Don't snort Benadryl.
Thank you.
Don't snort
Thank you
Benadryl,
for
kids.
Coming around to this.
I'm gonna go against the grain and say snort Benadryl, kids. Oh, wait. I'm not saying for kids to snort Benadryl. I'm saying to snort Benadryl kids. Like the Benadryl for kids.
Oh, yeah, like
yeah.
the bubble gum
Yeah,
or
yeah,
grape. Yeah,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
responsible.
You want
I'm
a
on board.
grape drip in the back
Yeah,
of your
that's
throat.
I'm not a complete monster. I just wanted it
Some would
clear.
beg to differ.
Grape drip.
All right.
Okay. So
I'm really happy we got all of that correct.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, every single one. I feel very sad. Next time I'm gonna make it a lot harder for you guys.
I don't know if it's racist that we got them all right. Is that good or bad?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's bad for us or bad for Chinese slash Australians.
Yeah.
You know, there's a movement in Italy to ban mainland Chinese tourists from coming to Italy.
Really?
Yeah. Like in Milan and Rome, like those are tourist cities.
Sure.
I don't even know if regular people are allowed to live there anymore. But they want to ban mainland Chinese tourists from coming.
Damn.
There are cafes and restaurants there which say no Chinese tourists.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I feel like your insight would really help in this. In America used to have signs like no dogs, no Irish, right? So
Oh yeah, they still do.
they still do.
Yeah, no one likes
Wow.
the Irish.
Fun country you got there.
Yeah, man, we
Fun
have an
country.
interesting history with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long those no dogs, no Irish? How long do you keep those signs in your house? When you
Well, well, with the red hair, that's how my mom kept me out of the house. And she said, "You ain't bringing that dog or that
Okay.
into my home."
So would an Irish dog be more or less of a problem?
Less of a problem. Yeah, the Irish setter, a good Irish setter. Americans love a good Irish setter. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Right in.
Aaron, can you back this up? Is this...
I like dogs.
and what are your thoughts on the Irish?
They're fine.
Wow. That is a mighty suspicious statement.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What
Well,
On that awkward note.
yeah.
Yeah.
Can I tell an Irish joke? I gotta.
you can. Yeah, lay it on
All right.
us.
So
I got
yeah,
it.
this is a great Irish joke. Take
Wrap
this
it up,
home with
Steve.
you. It's a lot of fun. How many potatoes does it take to kill an Irishman?
None.
None. Yeah.
Ah,
I love that joke.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. That's a good one. All right, guys. Well, that's it for this edition of Impats. Thanks for listening. And remember, if you want to support what we do, please share, subscribe, and leave a review over on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, or wherever you get your podcast fix. Also, leave us some comments on facebook.com/Impats podcast. That's it for now, but we'll see you in the next... That was a total... I nailed it all the way
You had
through,
it,
right
man.
at the
That
end.
was-
Right at the end.
That was beautiful.
That's all for now, but I'll see you in the next episode of Impats.